In recent days, tensions in East Asia have reached a new level. China has launched rockets toward waters near Taiwan in what is now considered the largest and closest Chinese military exercise ever conducted around the island. These maneuvers are not merely demonstrations of force. They are a direct message to Taiwan, the United States, and the international community. For a second consecutive day, large-scale military drills have involved dozens of warships, frigates, submarines, and aircraft from the Chinese Air Force. According to Taiwan's government, these operations came closer to the island's territory than any previous exercises. In practical terms, China is rehearsing a full blockade, testing its ability to surround Taiwan by sea and air, while evaluating response times and military coordination. To understand the seriousness of the current situation, it is necessary to look back at history. After the Chinese Civil War in 1949, the Communist Party took control of mainland China. The defeated government retreated to the island of Taiwan, where it established its own administration. Since then, Beijing has regarded Taiwan as a renegade province and an inseparable part of Chinese territory. In practical terms, China is rehearsing a full blockade, testing its ability to surround Taiwan by sea and air, while evaluating response times and military coordination. To understand the seriousness of the current situation, it is necessary to look back at history. After the Chinese Civil War in 1949, the Communist Party took control of mainland China. The defeated government retreated to the island of Taiwan, where it established its own administration. Since then, Beijing has regarded Taiwan as a renegade province and an inseparable part of Chinese territory. In practice, however, Taiwan functions as a self-governing entity, with a democratically elected government, its own armed forces, and significant political autonomy. Nevertheless, Taiwan has never formally declared independence, largely to avoid triggering a direct military response from China. In recent days, China has launched unprecedented military exercises around the island. These drills included rocket launches from mainland China into waters near Taiwan. According to Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense, Chinese naval vessels and aircraft entered areas considered strategically vital, including maritime and economic zones that Taiwan defines as critical to its security. Although Taiwan is not widely recognized as an independent state, the island maintains its own operational boundaries, and those areas were directly affected by the exercises. These actions did not occur in isolation. Shortly before the drills began, the United States announced an $11 billion military aid package for Taiwan. The aim is to strengthen air defense systems, modernize military equipment, and enhance Taiwan's ability to respond to potential Chinese aggression. Beijing views this support as a direct provocation and an unacceptable interference in what it considers its internal affairs. Chinese authorities accuse Washington of encouraging Taiwan to resist Chinese sovereignty. More than a military training exercise, these maneuvers serve as a political signal. Chinese President Xi Jinping has repeatedly stated that reunification with Taiwan is a historic priority. He has also made clear that the use of military force remains an option if other means fail. By simulating port blockades, air and naval control, and even attacks against foreign forces that might come to Taiwan's aid, China is demonstrating both capability and willingness to act. The potential consequences of a conflict would extend far beyond China and Taiwan. Moreover, a significant portion of global maritime trade passes through the Taiwan Strait. Any disruption in this region could affect global supplies of energy, food, and manufactured goods, triggering a major international economic crisis. Another critical factor is the nature of modern warfare. Conflict today is not limited to tanks, ships, and fighter jets. Experts warn that any confrontation would likely involve cyber attacks, satellite disruptions, information warfare, disinformation campaigns, and severe economic pressure through sanctions. China has already demonstrated advanced capabilities in many of these areas. Taiwan, meanwhile, has invested heavily in cyber defense and cooperation with allied nations. Even without a direct invasion, the global impact would be immediate, affecting financial systems, communications networks, and digital infrastructure worldwide. Looking ahead, analysts believe that China is likely to continue conducting increasingly frequent and closer military exercises around Taiwan in the near term. The strategy appears to be one of sustained pressure, testing limits, normalizing a strong military presence, and wearing down Taiwan psychologically and politically without immediately triggering open conflict. Taiwan, on the other hand, is expected to continue strengthening its international partnerships, modernizing its defenses, and avoiding any move that could be interpreted as a formal declaration of independence. For now, the most likely scenario is an extremely fragile balance. Neither side seems willing to take the first step toward a full-scale war, yet both are preparing for that possibility. Each military drill, each arms deal, and each political statement adds more strain to an already volatile situation. The relationship between China and Taiwan has become one of the most dangerous flashpoints in global geopolitics. The world is watching closely because what is at stake is not only the future of Taiwan, but the stability of the international political and economic order itself.